for my Facebook to load. Hi, good evening, everybody. Just wait for my usual Facebook going up and start like it'll just start speaking and I have to switch it off. Everybody's
Mm.
used to it. I think that's the constant that I've been saying to everybody. Hi, good evening. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying, Dawn, for very long to understand how to do this. Nobody's been able to give me why it happens to my
Yeah.
settings. So anyway, we've muted the Facebook and welcome Dawn. They were beautiful, beautiful mom again. All my champion moms are beautiful and they're just adding every single day. I'm getting messages now. We have some interesting moms also being lined up from interesting professions. And it's this project is giving me so much joy every single day because I was like something that I thought was just an idea and or just a thought that this
Mm.
happened to everybody or am I the only one? And of course, being a photographer of mums and kids and babies, I knew there was some reality to it. What 35 moms down the interview, oh my god, like so much alignment all of them have with this stuff that we're trying to discuss. So welcome Dawn,
Thank
um,
you.
and it's a pleasure having you here. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me here. I think just in the 5 minutes we were speaking on the phone before, I think our values and what we believe really, I felt a connection with you. So I'm very honored to be here. As you mentioned, my name is Dawn, not like Gunda, but like morning, sunrise. So I was born at sunrise, so my parents named me Dawn. So that's why I have this name. And I've worked in education for most of my life. I actually spent most of my career working in residential schools, building up residential programs that were actually character based because we care a lot about academics, but we forget that this is a time when a child's character is being formed.
Right.
And so most of my career, I've sort of done virtues and value based residential program sort of around that. And then I'm here in Chennai now, and it's my first time actually working at a day school.
Right.
So I've been a mom to many, many, many kids over the years, but I also have 3 children of my own. I'm a little further down the road than maybe many of the moms here. So my kids are grown. They've left home. My oldest is married. So my kids are between the ages of 21 and 26. I have my oldest is a boy and I have 2 girls.
Lovely. We also
Yeah.
have grandmoms here, and more grandmothers are coming as well. And
Oh,
they,
lovely. Good, good. So I'm not the oldest.
I'm the oldest, probably, Dawn. That's what people call me. That like I think your soul is very old, so I think I'm the oldest anyway here.
Good, good.
But yes, we have I have some stories, which are stunning stories of some 8-year-olds who will be here. I'm just trying to get some dates, so don't
Oh,
worry.
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, some of them are supreme, like they've been judges and they still drive their cars and they still
Mhm.
interact with their daily routines. So them some inspirational moms there coming up for us very soon, and it's beautiful. I mean, I know that the word dawn, like the first thing in India, because so much Bollywood has been done around the word dawn.
Yes,
And
yes.
the first thing is like, is it that Don, which is the criminal in a Bollywood film?
Exactly.
But yes, of course, the name is absolutely
Mhm.
beautiful. I
Thank you.
absolutely think it's very,
Uh,
very thought of name
mm.
and it's really very poetic. So tell us more about you, Don, about your journey as a mom. What this has been, what brought you to India, what are you doing in India? Let's talk about that.
Mm. Well, I've spent my career working overseas mainly. I'm originally from Canada. I'm from Vancouver. I was actually raised in northern Canada, and I spent 10 years in Europe. I've lived in Central Africa, and then in 2015, I came to India. Only my youngest was still home with me then, but she's grown. She's left home now, and 2018, I moved to Chennai. So I've lived on 4 continents. I've traveled to 33 countries.
Wow,
And I'm very happy in India. I feel very much at home here and feel quite settled.
lovely. And you also are a photographer. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I'm not a professional photographer by any means. I still just use my phone. But I think for me, photography is just how I let the world see what I find is beautiful. So I'm a big trekker, I'm a big walker, and every free moment I have, I'm out in nature and I'm just exploring and having fun.
Yeah, that's what you told me that the best thing that happened during COVID was that you started walking a lot in
That's right.
Tamil Nadu, and you've like been around these roads which are unexplored by most people, and that's amazing. I mean, I would so love to do that with you one of these days, because South India is absolutely gorgeous, and the
It
things
is. It is.
I've been in Bangalore for 5 years, just moved to Pune like just a few months back,
Mhm.
and it's a gorgeous place. So really lovely that you actually see COVID times, that no cars and no going, but at least you can walk and you can do a lot of things. So, what has it been your journey as a mom, raising your children? You're saying you moved 33 countries. Were they moving with you, or
Yes, yes. So my kids really traveled a lot with me, which was a blessing. You know, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. And I remember thinking, I had children very young. And I remember thinking that I wanted to stay home with my children. I didn't want to be away working. And luckily, I found a career that I could really have my children with me, working at schools. My kids attended the schools that I worked at. They were residential schools, so we lived all together. So it was a good balance. And then in our free time on our vacations, we also did a lot of exploring, sometimes overseas and sometimes just trekking, biking. We really were an adventurous family. And so that was great for us.
lovely? That sounds so awesome. We were talking, and Sarah is here, and we're wishing her good morning. And Melanie is here as well. So, good morning, Melanie. And thanks for always showing up in these comments and supporting us in this project. Dawn, moving from there, before we talk about your work in the school and with special needs children, Melanie
Mhm.
is in the space of parenting as well.
Mhm.
It's interesting that she's here. She will really relate to your story. So moving on, I just want to know that we were talking about this whole self-doubt, this whole chatter, that stuff that
Mhm.
emerges once you become a mom. Why are we hiding? I've been talking to all the mothers the same thing, and honestly getting the same answer as well in different ways, but the bottom line is the same, that what exactly happens to your mom when she becomes a mom, and how, like you just said that you like to use photography to explore, and you also told me that you had taken this whole journey to actually start taking your own pictures. So let's talk about
Mhm.
that. Like this whole journey, how was it for you? Why do you think you were not okay with taking your pictures when you were in this journey of raising children? And was your mom like that when she was stay at home
Yeah,
mom? Let's talk about
yeah. So my mom is a stunningly beautiful woman, but she hated having her photo taken, and she was always quite insecure about it. And I don't know how many family photos we have of my mom with like her hand up like this, like she didn't want her picture taken very often, or she would slip out when we were having group photos. So there's very few photos of my mom from when I was young. And I think I picked that up. And you know, society, it's part of marketing, is making women feel insecure about themselves. Everything from our eyebrows to our eyelashes to our complexion. I mean, every part of our body, we're told how we can make it better. It's a big marketing scheme. And it's drilled into us from the time we get our first Barbie doll to, old age. We're always told how to fix ourselves. And that breeds insecurity in us as women. And then as motherhood comes along, our bodies are changing. We no longer have our beautiful teenage bodies, and we get stretched out and grown out, which is lovely. It's beautiful. And there are many cultures I've lived in which helped me a lot. Living in countries where having a bit of chickaboom on your body was considered beautiful.
that?
And little by little, I learned to accept the changes, accept myself. And I was probably in my 40s the first time I actually took a selfie, felt comfortable, and posted it. And not posted it in an egotistical way, but in a self love kind of way of saying, you know what? I accept myself who I am and I feel good about myself. And I always try to write something positive, especially something about mental health, because mental health is a huge issue, especially now during COVID. So, as women, we need to be kind to ourselves. As mothers, we need to be double kind to ourselves because, I mean, there's nothing to show your fault more than motherhood because every fault you see in your child, basically you feel like came from yourself. Your impatience, your whatever it is, we lose our tempers, we do whatever, and we judge ourselves so much. So a little bit of self-love and a little bit of forgiveness goes a long way as for mothers.
Yes, and what you just said, Melanie is here, and if she's listening, she will. She's been saying this. She says it again and again that whatever we do, it passes on to our children. I've been talking about the ripple effect, and see the ripple effect coming from your mom to you, and if you don't solve it, it'll go down to your children. And I honestly, like, this is what I keep saying in the middle of the conversation. I've been seeing my interviews, and I use this hand very often because I think it's a very relatable hand to most
Yeah.
mothers. And don't do it. I've told you I don't like it. Don't do that. This is like a hand for many things, but because picture shows us who we become, and we don't want to see it, we are the most very assertive about you shouldn't be doing it, like, simple.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And everything else we can keep saying we are busy doing it, that's why we're not showing up. We are busy, that's why we're not coming for a party. We are busy, that's why we didn't dress up if people turned out to be. We didn't get time. We will keep saying that, and we'll hide, but those are also all hiding signs. Over these interviews, I
Yeah.
realize
Yeah.
are all hiding signs, because we withdraw, right? We withdraw
Mm,
tremendously.
mm.
And I think it happens naturally. If you think about nature, sometimes I feel that withdrawing from a mother is a nature, because that's why you go in hibernation, right? The
Yes.
hibernation in nature happens because, uh, I mean, that's why you hibernate, because you need all the time to recover. You need all the time to, take care of your kids, be with them. But of course, we are humans. We have to go crazy about everything, and that's why
Mm.
there's so much happens that we can't hibernate, but we can't come out. But so much happens to a mother, because we are human moms, and we are the modern moms, and there's so much camera around us. And I'm totally blessed, Dawn, that this camera is actually showing me
Mm.
the stuff that is going on for generations. And
Yes.
I was talking to one of my coaches, and I was just like, probably I became a photographer to come and do this eventually after 20
Mm.
years, because I feel that I don't know when I will pick up my camera now and I'll start going for a shoot.
Mm.
So, as a photographer, what you find, like you said, self-love, that was beautiful. But when you
Mm.
now put yourself out, do you feel more liberated? Do you feel that a lot of things and chatter has lifted up from you when or is still there?
No, I mean, it's part of a process. And I don't think the photo itself is liberating. I think the liberation happens before that. And so, that process, and it's just for me a reminder. So when I go through my Instagram, if you look at my Instagram, I take a lot of nature shots, but I make sure every, like, I don't know, maybe between 6 and 10 shots, I'll have a photo of myself, which if you look at my old Instagram, it will be like 20, 30, 40, 50 shots before I put a shot of myself. But now it's like, this is who I am. And I want the world to see who I am. I feel good about this is a person behind the camera. This is my journey. And I think people connect with a human being behind the story. And so to let go of that insecurity and let other people connect with me as a human and not worry about, am I perfect? Am I using filters? Filters is another thing, because filters are such a dangerous thing for women. I got this camera in about 2017 and it had a built-in filter. So
Yeah.
all my selfies were looking great and my wrinkles were gone and my cheeks were rosy and I was feeling so good about all my photos. And I suddenly realized this is fake. This is not me. This is fake. So I turned off and obviously got a new phone, but the filters are off now. And you know, I think that's also a liberating thing to be able to say, yeah, I have wrinkles and I have black circles under my eyes and I have a double chin. you know?
That's okay. I mean, that's how you will see me when two, three things that's come to my mind during these interviews, and I will talk about it. Number one, that you just like said, that let people connect with your real self, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm in my washed hair right now. It doesn't matter to me that it looks flat or it looks full or it looks whatever to me right now, because I just got time to go and wash my hair because I was with my kids since morning. It's okay. So turning up, okay, is all right. But the best thing is that because at this point in time, I've made so much human connect online.
Yes.
At this point, the support is coming for the human connect that I'm making. They're really not sitting in figuring it out, what Shika is looking like, what is she wearing, what is she doing. So I think we overthink when we're trying to put our pictures out by saying they will judge us, they will think. It usually doesn't happen. You find a lot of love as well. And I think
Yes.
that belief has to come. Yes, there is a lot of resistance, but when you start showing up, you actually find a lot of love. And it's unbelievable that how much we let go
Yeah.
of that love by just resisting trying to show up, even in our pictures, even online. And there's so much, like, we're just totally scared. And I feel that if we just go out there, find our kind of people, attract our kind of people with algorithm on the terms of social media, I don't think so there's any problem in sharing this relationship, because some beautiful relationships have been formed by me
Yes.
online.
Yeah.
Sarah is here, Melanie is here. All of them are found online. Francis is here, Debbie is here. I just find them online, and I just think they are here because I've made that connection. And they're here
Hmm.
for me. If I turn up for them, I am there because Sarah is in a retreat. She heads a retreat, and she's there. And I just totally enjoy it when she's doing it. So that's number one. That I think we all overthink about
Yeah.
the fact that we won't get love if we
Yeah.
show. Two, filters. Like, filters is just another thing. And I think the next generation, like, I literally, I didn't want to do it, but I was so tempted. Just yesterday I saw an ad of before and after. What happens when you use this app, and before this is
Yeah.
the freckles, after the freckles
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
gone. My God, like, I'm just like, how much can we just keep running away from our reality? And that reality not necessarily is a bad thing. We think
Hmm.
it's a bad thing. You just said your mom was beautiful. You know,
Hmm.
imagine,
Yeah.
she didn't have the opportunity to see this, that how beautiful she is, because of the
Mm.
chatter that was going on, right?
That's right. That's
So,
right.
so I totally agree that you touch these points about the filter. You're totally, it's just beautiful. So, Sarah, like, you have kids. Do you
Hmm.
see them liberated around cameras because they see their mom, showing up, or do you still think that,
Oh,
mom, you're overdoing it? This is not your age to do it. Do they taste things like that?
they are completely liberated, and probably before I ever was, because they're part of this generation that is like grown up with gadgets, right? And even though, like, I really didn't give my kids phones or things like that till they were much older, but still, they are so comfortable in front of the camera. My kids are all very musical. They like to perform. They like to be in front of people, and they have amazing. My daughters have amazing confidence and self-love, and I envy them actually, just how well they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it also happens to a lot of us when we become mothers. That's why I've picked up this particular thing. When we become mothers,
Mm.
is when, for the first time, this so-called perfect world, which we're trying to always be confident in, just starts going down. And that's why this project was very close to my heart, because I was just like, the whole life will just go thinking that worth it not, should I not?
Yes. Yeah.
And not only showing up for your success, or not only showing up for your career, but just even for your children, in your
Yeah.
spirit. And I think
Mm.
you must have done a great job of that spirit, that they have picked it up, because
Mm.
that's what's needed to pick this whole thing up. So have you tried to take pictures of portraits in India, in rural places, when you try to travel? I'm just inquisitive, that have you seen this hand going up, even in the rural areas, if you've tried to travel and you've tried, like, which is a country, okay, this is a question that comes to me now.
Mm.
Which
Mm.
is a country you found that people were very open and very good about, no matter how they looked?
Myanmar. So in Myanmar, I actually constantly had people asking me to take their photo, even though they didn't have social media. There was no way of me of giving the photo to them. They wanted to be in my, so constantly. But actually here in India too, I have a lot of people who ask me to be in their photos or ask me to take photos of them. I don't do a lot of portrait photography. I enjoy it, but I'm really into nature. So a lot of nature, a lot of temples, a lot of monuments. You'll see that's what my photography is about. But once in a while, I don't really stick a camera in people's face. As a visitor here in India, I try to be courteous, and I try not to be one of those people who's really in your face. So I'm just quietly observing is what I like to do. But once in a while, I do take portraits. I recently posted one. There was a woman selling ice apple. So I was looking at her ice apples, and then she asked, take a photo with me. So I took her photo, and she was happy. But usually I'm not taking photos of people.
Yeah. But you thought the Myanmar, as a country, was very open about pictures.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah. So I spent about a month in Myanmar. I did a lot of trekking. I went to places where there were no hotels, there were no restaurants. You just go to a village, homestay with a family, eat whatever food they give you. And it was stunningly beautiful. I had such a good experience there. And people were so hospitable, so welcoming, all throughout the country. I never had one bad experience.
Lovely. I'm so
Mm.
happy to hear that, because this is another thing that with traveling, there's so much thing going on. Something bad will happen. Something we just get these
Yeah,
things in our head, and it's all the chatter that stops us from doing what we have to do.
yes.
So moving
So
on to
In India, I get this all the time that don't walk out alone, don't go out alone. You're going to be raped. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. And of course, we have to be cautious. And I'm fully covered when I go out. I don't go out in the dark alone. I don't go too far into nature by myself. So I have basic rules. But I mean, this is my 6th year in India, and I don't have one bad experience, not one. And I've been walking all throughout many states, and I don't have any negative experiences. And especially in rural areas. I grew up in a rural area. I'm a country girl. And I feel like people are going about their daily business. I think human beings all want the same thing, and we all are genuinely good people. And I've never had any bad experiences in the countryside.
touch wood, and fingers crossed it shouldn't be. I also think cities somehow in the night are more scary than
Yeah,
rural
definitely.
areas are, because I think rural India is very protective of women and their
Yeah,
right. I mean, of course, they're traditional in their thought process of maybe women not fully coming out, but a lot of rural women have started coming out, working in corporates, doing a lot
yeah,
of athletic
yeah.
stuff and going to Olympics and winning stuff from India. So India is changing, but rural is definitely, as a photographer. I mean, I'm an Indian girl. It's not only a traveler. I've been in Delhi. You know, you're raised with
Mm.
so much stuff happening around you that you always very cautious. So even if I've moved out to Delhi, sometimes I feel that I'm just over cautious because I'm
Yeah,
raised like that in a.
yeah.
But probably if I was a rural girl, probably these things status should would have been little less,
Mm,
and I would have
mm.
been more confident to maneuver around in the wild or nature, etc. So
Yeah.
now you're working with young kids, and
Mm,
you meet mothers on the daily basis. And a very interesting incident one of my mom just told me, and it's about self-image again. Now
mm.
that we're going in India, second year of lockdown, and kids are all online, and she's
Yeah.
telling me that my son, uh, came and asked me one of the days I was getting ready for the Zoom session, and he came and asked me that, Mom, what are you doing? And I was just removing my dark circles by putting some
Mm,
concealer there, and she's like, it's just I have a Zoom call, very important meeting, so I'm just.
mm. Yeah.
And after some 2 days, he was found putting the makeup on himself, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I have to go to school. I have dark circles. I don't think so. I can go to a meeting like that." And that's the time she realized that how much kids are watching, and
Mm,
what are we saying. And I think you have very young kids who are getting into online. What are the and hats off to primary school teachers, even
mm, mm.
and you have special needs children as well who are under your guidance. How are you coping up with all this, and how are mothers coping up around this?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, online education is not ideal. Our children need to socialize, they need to be with other children, they need to interact, especially for the young ones, and especially for those who have special needs. It's a challenge. But we're all doing the best we can. And I'm lucky. I work at a very small school. We're grade 1 through 12. We're only about 285 students, and we're part of a community. And so that way I can offer a lot of support to the parents. They can come into my office, they can speak with me, they can speak with our other staff. Our head of primary is amazing. She's a great support to our parents. So we do have things in place where we can, every parent is known. It's not like someone's going to call the school and say, just a minute and look up the child. Every family is known, every parent is known. And then as much as possible, there was a little while where things looked like they were opening up a bit. And so we had an activity for our younger ones outside on the school field. And just trying to find any opportunity we can to bring the kids together. You
Yeah.
know, that's what they need. They need to be together. They need to socialize. Um, and other countries have opened up primary schools first
Yeah.
and secondary schools second. And I don't know which is better. I have no idea. But, you know, these 2 years with no school for young children is definitely detrimental to their development, both academically and socially.
Oh yes, like I have two different age groups. I have a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So the 2-year-old definitely will take a lot of time to adjust because by this time my younger one was going to a mother toddler program, and sorry, my older one was going to a mother toddler by the time he was 2 years old. So my younger
Yeah,
one will not go till he's about 3 or 4, and he'll straight away go to the big school because he'll be old enough to go to a big school. And
yeah.
I was telling somebody recently that I will have to wean off two boys off me. You know, one, my younger one, who's, I'm still breastfeeding
Mhm,
him, but I have to
mm,
wean him off. But I'll also have to wean off my 8-year-old because he's got so used to being at home. And
exactly.
where he was, and the school he went to, and the image of the school that he had, and the school that he will go to with masks and rules and
Yeah.
social distancing and sanitization and constant, stuff being going on. I don't even know whether I want to send him. And if he goes, and how much time each child is going to be taking to adjust. So there'll be a lot of weaning off happening there, adjusting them. So it's a challenge for sure. And as involved in school, I'm sure you're constantly dealing with that, and that's why you must be finding a lot of mothers who must be reaching out for help, uh,
Yeah.
because we are lost, especially with the younger kids, because
Mm,
it's just so much to deal with at the same time with younger ones. I think even older ones, everybody's just lost, and the screen.
yeah.
Well, that's what it is, and we will have to keep facing this. So, Don, tell me, what is your dream? What's your dream?
My
You're
dream.
now
Oh my gosh.
going to be part of this book, which I'm honestly telling you, I've just got even more calls today that's just making me totally stunned that, I mean, I'm actually getting this energy together. And I
Mm,
absolutely believe that this book is going to bring a lot of happiness to, if anybody else not, at least these 100 moms who are part of this book. It will. So let's manifest your dream. What's your dream? What does Dawn really want in her life?
mm. Oh, there's so many things I want, but I'll tell you, there was this small documentary that I saw about a man in South Africa who found the longest possible route to walk on Earth. So he had walked from the tip of South Africa up into northern Mongolia. And most people's reactions are, that guy's crazy. It took him 8 years. My reaction was, I would love to. So, I mean, maybe not specifically that, but I think when you walk, you see the world slowed down. You see the world in a very beautiful way. And if I could retire now, travel full time, and just go to as many countries as possible, write about it, document it through my photography, I think that would bring me the most joy at this point in my life.
Beautiful. That's a really beautiful one. And suddenly you make me feel like going for a walk, Dawn. Like you already inspired me. And I hope your pictures about walking in the book and what it means to you. That would be if
Mhm.
somebody opens that piece like, wow, I should walk. What is this
Yeah.
just going on into my head? Let's walk. Let's walk. Because I used to have a friend very early, and I just suddenly remembered he connected again on Instagram after 4 or 5 years, and he used to just walk. He was an artist, and he used to just walk. Like I used to just keep bumping in with my car at spots, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Walking." He was an artist. He used to
Yeah.
just walk, and he used to be so full of stories. And then, in spite of me being a photographer, he had more stories, and I always used to visualize the places because he would have gone to such deepest places inside and come out on the
Mm.
other side in Delhi. And I'm just like, really, this exists? He's like, yes. Do you know there's a place where there are more than 1,000 eagles who come and they are fed together? I said,
Mm.
what? He's like, in Delhi? Yes, in the capital of this country, right where the cities is. If you go inside there, I'm like, really? So, these kind of stories came out.
Yes.
I used to
Yeah.
be so fascinated. I could talk to him for hours because I would just keep listening to him. And I was like, wow, if I could just do that. I didn't have the courage as a girl in Delhi to just venture out into these deepest
Mm.
places. But
Mm.
just the places he told me, I was very fascinated that I would love to go and visit and find. And in fact, before like we wrap up, I'll tell you another interesting thing. I was 18 years of age, and I told my dad that, Dad, I've told my teacher that I'm going to do a little story on elephants and how baby elephants are caught.
Mm.
My dad's like, you're not going alone. You're all of 18 right now. You're not taking this camera. I'm like, I've promised it and this and that. And I was like, fine, not letting me go. So I went to WWF in Delhi and I knocked at the doors and I'm like, tell me one thing. When the festivals happen, these elephants come to Delhi. Where do these elephants come in Delhi
Mm.
from? And they're like, there's a river, the Yamuna River. There are elephants there, so you can go there. So fine, I was very happy. I was like, okay, I'll request them to maybe imitate the entire thing. I just needed 2 pictures, and so I was very close to my dad, and I went back to him. I said, fine, I'm going to be in Delhi. I'm taking my car, and I'm going to the Yamuna Bridge, and I'm going to go and take the pictures. And
Mm.
my dad's like, hold on, let me call my cop friend first and find out if it's safe for you to go there. So he called his cop friend. He's like, no, all the criminals generally hide in that area. We find a lot of nuisance happening in that area. She should not
Mm.
go there alone. I was like, come on, I really want to do this. And so my dad decided, okay, we will go and we'll take our friend, we'll take another friend with us. So three of us
Mm.
went. And I went to this Mahots there and I spoke to them. And, we told them, can you come across the river? And then in the forest behind, we created this whole scene with the baby elephant in the middle and all the elephants, how they catch, how they isolate the mother.
Mm. Mm.
I did this whole thing. Of course, it like really shook me as how they do this,
Yes.
but I wanted
Yes.
to get that story out. And then I came back and I remember when I was telling my friends, like, elephants in Delhi? Are you crazy? I was like, yes, there are elephants in Delhi. You took this in Delhi? I was like, yes. Is there a forest in Delhi? Yes, there is a forest in Delhi. And that's what happens, and that's what you're talking
Yes.
about, the city part. That, like, we don't even know what all is there unless we start walking.
Mm. Mm.
And I
Mm.
walked a lot to do that one picture. And I realized, my God, Delhi has a forest, it has a place where criminals hide. And like, I was like a South Delhi girl going to college in my own,
Mm.
moment. Just when I started to find your own environment starts to come alive, and that's what I find so beautiful about you, Don. That
Mm.
you are proving it by living that life, and I wish this dream comes true of yours. That this longest road is what you travel,
Mm.
and you have all the money for retiring, and you can just keep walking and bringing so much. I think you can bring a lot to this world. I'm totally thrilled talking to you right now because there's so much to bring, and I love your dream, and I hope that comes true.
Mm.
So
Thank you.
before
Thank
we,
you.
before we leave, would you like to say something to moms?
Oh, for moms, just don't underestimate yourself. I mean, the sheer fact of birthing a child shows that you are a superwoman.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't come with a manual. Don't be so hard on yourself and enjoy it. It goes away so quickly. And my one advice for women, whether you're a mother or not, is get out of your comfort zone. And I think that's part of what you were saying, that we in even the cities where we live, everything, we have these comfort zones. Get out of your comfort zone and find out who you are. Flex those muscles a little bit. We are strong, powerful, incredible women with so many capacities. And I feel so much of society, and maybe out of wanting to protect us, keep us down. But you know what? I think you can determine your own path and feel confident in yourself, and sky's the limit. Really, it is. So that's my message to moms.
So beautiful, and I love the way you keep holding your heart because that also shows you're so heart centered, John. And absolutely a privilege to having you on board on this book. I am waiting for your picture and your pages, like I'm waiting for many moms' pictures and pages at this
Mm.
point in time. But I'm totally excited to see what comes out of you. And I see you as
Mm.
an inspiration in walking, and let's see what comes. So this is a beautiful addition to our book as well, and a beautiful story. So welcome here, and we will hand you over to our pillars beautifully, and those pillars will take you further. And very soon, I should stop saying that. All my coaches and everybody's saying, don't say I hope. On 8th of November, we will have our book out, designed, 100 moms done and designed, and the stories out. And then we start publicizing the book. But the book design and 100 Moms together on Zoom will be there on 8th of November. That's the target.
Wonderful. Wishing you many blessings. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Don't go off. I'm going off live stream. There's so many hearts and likes and loves. And a lot of people are going to start chatting once they wake up. Thank you, Melanie, Sarah. Thank you so much for showing up and supporting us. I'm just going to go off live and